and welcome to this very exciting and a very special episode of Newsmakers. This is special because we are celebrating International Women's Day. This day is a special dedicated to all the women who are doing such great work in the society. They are the reformers of the society and they carry so much strength, compassion into themselves. I am so very honored that I was able to share stage with so many amazing women, and today once again I'm having three wonderful women. They are excelling in their field and they're doing so wonderfully well. And I would like to tell you here once again that Newsmaker is the show where we get people who really inspire us. Because at Newsmaker, we aspire to inspire you. My dear friends, I'm your host Simran, and I would like to introduce you to my panelist here. Our first panelist, as we would like to just start here, Professor Dr. Sujata Shahi. She is a Vice Chancellor of IIM University. She's a professor and she's an organizational behavior and a human resources department. She's a professor for that. A very, very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Such an honor to have you here with us.
Thank you, Simran. Indeed, my pleasure to share this platform with all beautiful, eminent ladies.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to now go to Dr. Sreystha Beppari. She is the consultant psychologist. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
We have another gorgeous guest with us. We have Mohua Chinappa. She is the author and columnist, and I know that you have done amazingly well in your life. There is a lot that I'm looking forward to hear today. I'm excited that this interview is going to be rocking. A very warm welcome to you, Ms. Mohua.
Thank you so much, Simran. Looking forward. It's an honor.
Wonderful. As we all know, all the women here, we all go through with a lot of struggles and a lot of challenges in life. So I would like to start with you, Professor Sujata ji. My first question for you would be, you are now a senior person. Just now you told me that, of course, you look at my age, I've been through so much. Now reaching to this level, you must have seen a lot in your life. And what inspired you to be into this field?
So thank you, Simran. This is like one thing which I wanted to share with everyone. Maybe inspirational story kind of thing. I'm from Bihar, a small town near Nepal border. It's called as a Sitamarhi. Basically, it's a birthplace of goddess Sita. And traditionally, we know, even nowadays, the traditional culture of Bihar is very, very conservative. And the temperament of people and society was just to give education to girl child till graduation. Why? Because this is the one certificate for getting married to in a nice family.
Okay.
But I was privileged. I born in a family where my mother was my mentor, and she struggled the kind of resilience she had. She got married when she was 15 and in the matric class, and then she studied with all 5 children, and then she reached a position of principal, and she was the longest principal in Bihar University. And so she was our role model, mentor, or inspiration. So this is the first half of my before marriage, my life, because she had given all opportunity, and the only way she had like education is one way which can give you liberty and wing to fly and whatever you want to achieve. So all 4 sisters, they done excellent in our education. Then the second part, when I moved to Lucknow after marriage, so for a few time, I was just working as a part-time. I decided to go for postgraduate diploma in journalism. So what I did, I enrolled. I was the youngest candidate student in that program because this one was meant for only professional, all sub-editors, you know, you are in a media, they were part of. And I was told from very beginning, आप pass कर जाओगे, ठीक है, आप पढ़ लोगे. So that kind of motivation I received. But when I got the result, maybe I didn't believe this is my result. I never went to check in my college that what was my result. All of a sudden, my husband told me this is in the newspaper your name because you are getting Chancellor Award in complete UP. That is the turning point for my life. Learning has no age. Wow. And I got the Chancellor Award. I got so many opportunities in media, Times of India, but my passion was to teach and create responsible citizen, responsible role model of India. So I moved from media to teaching. But that was the turning point. Age has no bar for learning, and you have to open your eyes and ears to accept challenges, to adapt change. And this is the mantra of my success in my life. And I reached on this stage.
Wonderful. Such a good thing to hear from you and all my viewers here, all the women viewers. See, we need to know that education is limitless. And there is no age to it. No, here we are getting to hear from somebody who's so senior, seen so much, like from the beginning of her life. She saw so much, but just have to see that where she has achieved and reached in her life. So wonderful to hear this, ma'am. I would now like to go to Dr. Sreystha. We have a very important question for you. Now, women in India, there is a lot of problem of balancing this life of being into work and your personal life. Now, you as an expert, you as a psychologist, we would like you to tell us that how can a woman balance this? You as a person, how do you do that, and how would you tell all of us to balance this, because this comes as a lot of challenges for us.
So balancing personal life and work life is not that much of a challenge.
Mhm.
The challenge is to balance the cognitive load. What I mean by that is that definitely we are educated enough to hold certain position in any organization. And the organizations are of late becoming more inclusive and more sensitive towards a woman need. So when we look at IT companies, they make more woman-centric policies to accommodate the inconveniences of a woman's life. So that's not the problem over there. The problem is the untold guilt that we carry in our heart when we go to workplace, leaving the family behind, because we are accustomed to the thought that caregiving is our primary responsibility, which of course there is, because by nature, what a woman is, we are soft, caring, sensitive, emotional, concerned, nurturing. And on top of it, we have a constant need to have love and support. They need to be validated, appreciation, approval, and acceptance. When these things do not come from the family or from the organization, we get into a major, major emotional struggle. We are physically capable enough to handle both the things, but it is more of the psychological load. So, what happens is if the world is having unrealistic expectations, at least we should set realistic expectations for us when we are going out in the world, because financial independence is so important for us today, because relationships are not very stable these days. People are often facing broken family, moving out, taking responsibility of a child, being a single parent. So with all these uncertainties, it is important to have financial freedom, and financial freedom will come when we go and start working and earn money. We do not get paid for the domestic work that we do, so that's taken for granted. Now, when we go there, the primary caregiving, the child or whatever happens in the family remains our concern. Now, look at it this way: whether the clothes are folded, whether there is a diaper for the baby, whether there is salt and sugar or milk in the house, whether the father-in-law is getting his diabetic medicine or not, is all there in the mind. We are carrying that to the workplace, and we are carrying the criticism or whatever it is there in the workplace back from us. If the family doesn't support, if they do not understand the dual life that we are balancing, it becomes difficult, almost impossible to maintain our sanity. And as far as men are concerned, they are great people. I have nothing against men. But the thing is, it's very difficult for men to be in attunement with a woman's emotion.
True.
First of all, they do not understand. They think they do, but actually they don't. Because we are always on an emotional roller coaster, starting from puberty to antenatal to postpartum to menopause to periods every month. We are on an emotional roller coaster. Our body is literally a hormone factory. Why we cry, why we break down, why we throw tantrums, why do we have mood swings? It's not really possible for a man to understand, because they do not feel that. It's not that they're not compassionate about it, they just don't understand what's happening. So what they do is they dismisses our emotions, they invalidate it, and that's where it hurts. So I want to make an appeal to women that it's not necessary to take all the punches on the nose, straight away.
Wow.
Just dodge few of them. Be
Mhm.
realistic. You are going there to earn. You have to make compromises with your home, with your earning, with your salary. You can outsource certain help, but your nanny is definitely not going to attend your child's PTM. It's where
Yes.
you have to go. When you call your husband that there is a PTM and he says that I'm in an important meeting, It's other way of telling that you go. And you be mentally prepared for it. When you are very realistic of what you are going to do, you are very real about the life that you are living, whether your family is supporting you or not supporting you. You take care of that. You are capable of doing that. It's the unnecessary expectation and the unnecessary shame, hurt, guilt, everything. And one very significant thing I want to mention over here that I see with my patients day in and day out: the moment they become parent, a lot of childhood emotions surface. They try to give to their child something that they never got from their parent, or they try to imitate their mom as a role model. And they fail because their mom was probably a housewife. They could do justice to her, but she's not able to do it. So going on a guilt trip is a waste of energy. Taking this unnecessary load is a waste of energy. So if you put your perspective on the right place, because we only have that level of energy for a day. Okay, so I know that I can do only that much. The remaining, I want people to understand. If they understand, very good. If they don't understand, I don't necessarily need to hate them. I need to accept that they are probably not in a cognitive ability to understand what I'm going through. And if I fall apart, there are help available. There are mental health practitioners, therapists, and people like us who can always put your emotions into perspective and make your life better. So we need to drop the rope and stop this unnecessary fight. The balance is much easier, and we are doing it every day, and we are proving it as well.
What a wonderful thing we've just got to hear from Dr. Sreystha, that women need to understand that we don't need validation. We are like this, and we are managing our both and work and professional life so very beautifully, a personal life. This is the need of the hour for all the women to understand that this is our time. Prove yourself. In fact, we don't need to. We don't need validation. We are doing our best. So, moving further, I would like to ask this very pretty face and with a very pretty smile, Ms.Mohua. Now, this pretty smile comes when I know that you are a fearless writer and you just write like you are very strong as a person. You write, your writings, they're often described as fearless and they're very honest also. Now, what drives you to tackle these difficult and that too controversial topics?
Well, thank you for having me today on this panel with such amazing, women. And thank you so much, Simran. Well, for me, writing, I'm a compulsive writer. I write when I have no other method of expressing what I feel for. And so some of us probably channel our our hurt, our grief, our angst through different forms. For me, it is writing. So obviously, when you're channeling a huge part of your life that you feel strongly about, there cannot be dishonesty in that. And I would, till I live, I don't think I would be able to write a dishonest word. And I have seen a very hard life too. I have been, in insurgency in the Northeast that India doesn't talk too much about, even now. And so I've known what it is to migrate. I've known what it is to shift into cities. I've known what it is to unlearn the fact that, you can't, you don't need to hide your identity as a woman, as a Bengali. So all of that definitely is very honest, raw emotions that I write, and my protagonists are mainly women. Yeah.
Wow, this is so good to hear. And I've really known that you've also had a life that which had a lot of struggles. I somehow read it, but you have come through and you're writing it through, like you're putting your emotions through your writing and reaching audience. This is an amazing thing that one can do. We have our ways of putting our feelings in front of people, and writing is bestest way, which I really feel. And you're doing amazing work. We are honored that you're here with us and sharing this. Now, I would like to go to Professor Sujata Ji. Ma'am, you've been into the industry, there were almost 3 decades that you're here. Now, again, we as a women, Dr. Sreystha just now told that, we have this kind of that thing that, men are really imposing on us. We are into this male-dominated society, this patriarchal society, and all of us as women, we do face it. Have you ever faced some kind of challenges being a woman into this industry? And how have you overcome them?
So basically, I'm lucky, Simran, I'm in the education sector where I never felt. But I'm just sharing one incident kind of thing. Last year in July, August, we celebrated first National Women Vice Chancellors Conference and IILM University. And you will be surprised to see in India we have more than 1,074 universities and only 76 women vice chancellors.
Only
That
70.
was, yeah, only 76. Just see the ratio. Then
Mhm.
you can feel that even in education, there are certain challenges to move on the success ladder.
Mhm.
So, but personally, if you see, like my growth and my personal story, always I had one point in my mind that I'm open for challenges and never afraid of failure in my life. I never saw internet. I never worked on computer. ILM, when I joined ILM was so progressive at that point of time in 2006 that the vision was completely different from other central and state universities, progressive in approach, technology enabled. I learned from junior, like from my junior colleague, like you people who were very successful in handling the technology. So I never felt bad if I have to go and ask Simran, ki, please tell me how to do this one on. And moving from OHP to PPT slides, that was another like personal challenge I felt, but I accepted that this is the way to move forward and accept like change in education sector also. Just little bit, I'm just going the emotional dependency, which Dr. Sreystha and Mohua both talked about. Still in our, I was before you joined, I was sharing this with both of them, eminent panelists, that my first research scholar, what she did, the first paper, research paper, PhD thesis, we did in India on Cinderella complex. And what was Cinderella complex? Psychologically, in our back of mind, we are dependent on the male because of the process of socialization. This is the societal demand.
Yes.
And unconsciously, we are dependent.
Mhm.
What she talked about, she is carrying like the medicine for father-in-law, like nappy for children,
Well, yes.
everything. Unconsciously, we are dependent. That we need to understand, being a progressive women, and how to solve this is in our hand.
Mhm. Wonderful. Wonderful. See, when we get to speak with somebody who's so senior, been into the industry for decades, we get to hear such things, such experiences that really work wonders for us. No, like we just got to know from Professor Sujata, she never had that qualms of reaching to the younger generation. Of course, she's coming through from the times where the technology was not at its peak. But here, I mean, you're doing wonderfully well, ma'am. You're still holding that great position. And to my question here, that yes, we are in the men dominated society, but how you have to come out and work for yourself, that matters. You have to take care of your own things. Just prove yourself that you are the best. Like I've been very very all the time saying the same things. Now I would like to go to Miss Mohua now. Here this question.
Simran, just one
Yeah,
more thing I
yeah,
wanted
sure,
to
please,
add.
please.
This dependency on society. Like for me, I'm psychologically dependent, but sometimes it happened in financial work. I
Mhm.
feel I can take help of my husband. That is not necessary, but this is just to maintain the family bonding. I do like this. But
Yes,
unconsciously, somewhere this one is in my mind.
this is your mind.
Financial decision, okay, I can check with my husband. And this
Exactly.
kind of dependency is still dominant in our society.
Yes,
Think you
there
are
is.
earning, you have position, you have recognition, everything, but somewhere in mind.
You rightly said, ma'am, that is back of the mind. This runs always. So, Miss Mahua, I would like to come to you with this question, which is very important. You are into this leadership role from past 15 years. You did that. Now, there must be this kind of a mental stress that you've dealt with. Now, again, because I just got to hear from Professor Sujata that being into this industry from past, 3 decades, you've been into 15 years. You must have noticed some kind of a stresses There could be a lot of mental pressure on you as to how to manage this male dominated society. You have gone through your struggles, I know, but how have you dealt, and what would you tell to the women who are watching you right now? How can they be as strong as you are?
Well, first and foremost, I think there needs to be a little bit of a correction that I have been in a leadership position and then I quit it at the pinnacle of my leadership work, because the environment at work was not at all conducive towards women. And this was in the early 2000s when I quit my career. And at that time, I don't think I clearly negotiated what I was doing. At that time, my son was very young. He had a lot of allergies, and I was nationally heading the PR division for Grey Advertising. And there was, the investments that they would make into my team was always very, very low. Because I think as women, I did not know how to negotiate my salary, because we carry that deep, baggage of not knowing our worth. And our worth has always been through our children doing well, our husbands doing well, and, how the home is looking. So women are quite, I would like to believe that things have changed now, but during my times in the early 2000s, I know a lot of women would relate to this, that we did not know how to negotiate our salaries. And I still remember, Simran, that I had just come back on a Saturday from Bombay for a very huge pitch, and we were shifting on Sunday, and shifting homes, right? This is the early days of my career, and my little baby, and I used to want to be with my little baby on a Sunday. And there was the top management that called me up and said that, I said, I'm shifting. They said, no, you have to just catch a flight and come back in the evening today, because in the morning we've got a pitch. So they were never willing to invest in somebody senior who could take over that part of my work. And I don't think I had the courage to ask for all of those investments, to get the business going forward. The other thing is that there is this whole casual advertising culture during our time. So, comments like very, very sexist comments are made very, very openly. You'll be called auntie, you will be called, many, many words that they will try and tell you that you're old, or they will tell you, things that are said so casually. And of course, at that time, I did not know how to react and retaliate. And I thought at that time to keep quiet would be the easier way out, because I needed that money for myself, for my own independence. And then I reached a point where I couldn't take it any longer. My son had a lot of allergies. And just going back to what Sreystha is saying, that there's no one who can take care of an ailing child apart from the mother. And that's the baggage we carry, right? Yes. And in spite of all the house help that I had invested in, and I still was extremely guilty that my kid had an allergy. And I quit work, at the pinnacle, like I said, and I had the most wonderful years with my son. I'm really glad, that I was there for him, going for his PTA meetings every day in the evening, being at home when he came back from school, because my mother was a working woman. And I exactly, again, what Sreystha said, that we as, young mothers, we do what our parents did not do for us. And but I did not, when he left in 2017 to study abroad, I suddenly felt that there was no need for me anymore in the house. I did not know what my purpose was anymore, because my husband had already gone ahead and created a career of his own. He was extremely successful. I was economically dependent. And it obviously made me feel very, very humiliated on many times if I had to explain my, my expenses. And in 2017, when he left, I couldn't sleep for about 7 or 8 months, all night, because I used to wonder how he's going to navigate his life, in London all alone as a young teenager. He was only 17 at that time. And then in 2018 is when, to the reluctance of everybody, because everybody became very comfortable that Mohua is going to be around, even if there is electricity that conks off in the house, or, if anybody is falling ill, relatives, or of course, I'm there for my parents. But I was the one who was the one, always in charge of everything. So everybody became very insecure when I said that I want to restart. And and I got in touch with many friends, and they all said, oh, come on, become a lady of leisure. And they didn't understand what it is to ask for money. And this is where, again, my honesty comes out, Simran. I don't know how to lie, because it is extremely difficult, to ask for money. After a point, many women reach that stage where they say that, they stop asking for anything. because it can be so humiliating, to be accountable for that one lipstick that you bought or one little indulgence of your own, right? So 2018 is when I walked into a cafe because I couldn't write from home. Everybody at home, they would just barge into the room saying, "Shakar khatam ho gaya, aata khatam ho gaya hai, pet ne abhi vomit kiya hai, to yahan jana hai, wahan jana hai." तो किसी को समझ में ही नहीं आता था that writing process जो होता है, it's you need that concentration, that focus and that concentration. So I walked into a cafe, and Simran, I grew up in Delhi. For me to walk into a cafe alone, I'm born in the 70s, and we don't go to places alone, right? We are very we carry all that baggage of how you'll be viewed. How is it that, of course, today's youngsters are all working out of cafes, but for me it was very, very new. And I walked into that cafe, and I switched off my phone, and I started writing from there. And I used to ask the cafe people to help me with technology, exactly what Dr. Sujata said. I used to ask people how to send an attachment, and they were all youngsters, and they all helped me. And then from there, I started, my writing journey. And of course, जब लिखने बैठते हैं उस टाइम पे ईमानदारी के बगैर तो काम हो नहीं पाता है. तो वहीं से मेरी शुरुआत है. आसान तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं रहा. घर वाले भी विलिंग नहीं थे एक नया अवतार में मुझे देखने के लिए, और ऑफिस की जगह में सैलरी नेगोशिएट. मेरा a colleague who was working with me at the same position earned more than what I was earning, and my salary was not done. It was just taken for granted that she's not going to be able to negotiate, so let's just try and keep her at whatever salary that we can.
You see, we've just got to hear that we, as a women, we face such adversities at work. Like, even if you have to ask for the worth, we absolutely don't know our worth. And that's why we don't even ask for money that we deserve. Coming here, and also, that we got to hear from Mohua that how she was, labeled as auntie. And there were a lot of things that she was labeled as. And a lot of women go through this. Now, I would go to Dr. Sreystha. Now, this is a very, very important question once again to you. We see a lot of women, facing this body shaming thing. They go through this mental pressure. Every time a woman is demanded to be in the voluptuous, body, you have to look absolutely great and fit and fine. Now, it comes with a lot of body shaming also. You tend to gain a bit of weight, and then you're gone. You're taken for a toss. Now, how do you manage this? Mental stress goes a lot. You have to be on your toes, manage house, do your work, and also stay fit and look sexy, as people say. Now, please tell us, how do you counsel a lot of people must be coming to you, a lot of women rather. What is your say on?
Yeah. I mean, I totally understand. We are supposed to look sexy, but not too sexy. If we are too sexy, then we are labeled as no brain. So
Yes. Then you call us blonde.
yeah. I mean, if you're too good looking, your brain must be compromised. So, okay, let me tell you this. Yes, it's a very serious question though, because I have many, many youngsters who are falling into this category. Forget about us, 19, 20, 12, 15, girls. I deal with a lot of girls in this issue. I want to start by saying that the concept of beauty is not much defined. It's never defined. We understand beauty always in reference to something. I hope you will agree with me. Example, Chand Samukhra, as beautiful as a peacock. So there must be some benchmark somewhere in relation to which we are defining beauty. Is it or not? Say, starting from the age of Cleopatra to Marilyn Monroe to Aishwarya Rai to Sushmita Sen, they have defined beauty. So your hair has to be of a certain type, jheel jaisi gehri neeli aankhein, and makhmali skin. So these have become the parameters of beauty. Now, having said that, let us please understand that this is just a common preference towards this kind of look. If I deviate from those parameters, doesn't necessarily make me ugly.
Exactly.
I probably have something unique which doesn't fit that benchmark or that criteria. It doesn't make me ugly or doesn't make me an outcast. Now, again, body shape, everything comes together in this. I believe from very early childhood, this confidence has to be dig deep into the child's head that no matter what your physical appearance is, your cerebral competency matters. Because end of the day, that is what will make you sustain in this world. It is you are born to give back something to the society, to contribute something for the betterment of mankind. What will be your contribution to the world before you leave this planet? That should be the ideology that we should teach our children. We should make them evolve with that, not being fixated on the body color or the shape, because these are all going to pass with the passage of time.
Exactly.
Even Cleopatra had a wrinkle, even Marilyn Monroe lost her firmness. So these are supposed to decay with time, but our contributions remain eternally there. Okay, so and another very important thing, that suppose a girl who has a very dark skin and she has a complex about it. She comes to me and say that I hate myself. If I tell her, no, 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 you look beautiful, will she be convinced? Is she buying my compliment? No. What I'm doing is I'm just splitting the gap even more. I think training should be, or encouragement should be, to make that child accept herself, and this time accept more powerfully.
Yes.
That yes, I have a dark skin, and see what I can do with it. Okay, I may not do a ramp walk, I may not be a model, but I can be a scientist in NASA. I can do something that the world will remember me for. So it is the perception, it is where we are focusing. Now, with age, and I said, everything will pass by, everything will decay. We cannot have that 24-year-old youth or sparkle forever. So that is one thing to be remembered. Second thing is, I do not want to take names over here, but even the biggest celebrities, the Miss World, the Miss Universe, have been trolled when they get weight on their pregnancy period. So the world has been merciless. They have been cruel. Now, it is my decision whose compliment I'm focusing on and whom I'm rejecting. See, people will be foul-mouthed and people spit venom, if they have venom inside. You will not hear this kind of body shaming or trolling coming from people who are really educated, who are really sorted, who are empowered, who have ethical values, who have high moral standards. Those kind of people will not stoop down to this level to make a derogatory comment on a woman's look. It is always the insecure type. It is always the more vulnerable. It is always those who have been criticized themselves. They will spit venom. Because let us understand, even a criminal is a victim at some place.
Exactly.
So when they are doing this, they are probably showing out. It's a displaced anger. There is no reason for any one of us to be ashamed by a comment made by somebody whose validation doesn't even matter. The people who are real contributors to the world, who worth something, will never make this kind of comment. And the last point that I would like to mention is that not everything is destiny. There is something called willpower as well. For example, if I have a dark skin, that's my genetics. I can't do anything about it. But how I groom myself is my will. Okay, how I can clothe, the kind of dress I wear, the kind of hairstyle I do, the choice of elegance, that's a willpower, that's a choice. And I think there is nothing called ugly in this planet. It could be different from what we are used to see, but nature hasn't created anything ugly, especially women. No, they are not. They have beauty of a different kind, which probably people do not know how to admire. That doesn't deem us to be worthless or useless. We carry a brain, very, very powerful. We carry the capacity to do something with it. The physical body is supportive of doing that creation. That's sufficient. So I think it's a choice. If you want to succumb to those comment and ugly comments, you are literally giving a lot of importance to people who worth nothing.
Yes.
So I think that choice should be very, very clear for every woman.
Very well said. So here, viewers, and especially my women friends here, it is our choice that we take it or leave it. So please, be you are. Like I've always been saying, that we need to actually realize that this is the time that we start to believe in ourselves. We do not really need a validation. And what better day than be on Women's Day, that we also make ourselves realize that we are here to make the best of being a woman. I'm going to Professor Sujata ji, I would like you to give one advice to all those women who are watching you right now. This is a special episode. We will have a lot of women watching this. Now we want you to give us that advice to all those women who are aspiring to be into the education industry, who would want to be into the leadership roles, and probably who would want to become like you.
Thank you, Simran. I think we have a lot, but paucity of time. I'm giving few key points. First, little bit I just carry with Dr. Sreystha says, body shaming and the color. This is also culture, dominant culture in our society. If you have a dark color, who will marry you, right? And sometimes it happens after few years. Out of dark, she emerged as a leader, and the white just remain the same. So this is completely, if we want to be these kind of temperament, knowledge is a only tool. You just prove yourself with your knowledge and positive attitude. I just want to convey all my friends, lovely ladies present here, that have a positive attitude. Embrace changes and keep on learning till death. We can learn and we can contribute to society through our learning. Be a role model, be a mentor. Even in this age, I'm looking, somebody is speaking such a nice thing. I'm just listening carefully ki what can be added in my personality. I'm 60 plus, but open your eyes, open your ears, embrace changes, key points which Dr. Sreystha said, key points which Mohua said, and then you can build your own knowledge center out of that. So this is one, like my positive attitude. Don't say no to anything. Even in my life, you won't believe that I got award in sports. I was a sports person. I got award in cooking. I never said कि ये मैं नहीं कर सकती. Let's try. So try the positive kind of thinking. I can try. Okay, maybe I will be not as successful in this field, but I can try. So have a positive attitude. Look for a role model or mentor in your life which you feel can give you like a platform to emerge. Because what happens, sometimes you have a mentor in your life that can give you a platform for networking also. Like Simran has given, now I will network with Mohua and Sreystha. So you can have someone in your life who can be role model. Then the point is, believe in yourself, in your capacity, competencies. And these are not by birth. It's a choice to learn. And it's a part of your process of socialization. We have certain inherited qualities through DNA, the color and hair and the body, but rest we are learning in our process of socialization. So know yourself, develop yourself. I think Dr. Sreystha is aware about emotional intelligence. What we say, know yourself, understand yourself. Always there is a mathematical formula to changes minuses into pluses. Know yourself, change your negativity into positivity, then understand others, and then the final society and contribute to society. Then I have one more point that celebrate your achievements, right? So you have something which you did, a small, suppose your son is, what she said, doing well, celebrate. You did for him. So we have to celebrate. I have achieved something. I published a paper. I can celebrate because I have right to celebrate. Not only I will celebrate the achievement of my husband, son, and daughters. It's my right also to celebrate. So only my suggestion is have a positive attitude, be a knowledgeable person, and till death you can learn, keep on learning on each and every platform. That is my message.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much, Professor Sujata ji. We just got to hear from all women viewers. You got to believe in yourself. This is absolutely been told by each of my panelists here and in the other panels also. Just believe in yourself. I will quickly go to Ms. Mohua. I would like you to give that advice to all those aspiring writers. You write fearlessly. How can they also be exactly like you?
Every writer has their own way of writing, so I don't I don't wish that they write like me. I'm sure there were better writers than me, and yes, you need to be consistent. You need to write every day. You need to love writing. Writing is my partner in grief, in anger, in happiness, in astonishment to the world. And be consistent, read a lot, be open to listening to conversations, meeting people from all walks of life, however small that little travel that you can do, because there's inspiration everywhere, all around us. All you need to do is just open up that eye inside you and start looking at the world, not from the same lens that your parents have passed on to you, but from your own lens. And read great writers, and you will obviously always learn a new perspective.
Yes, so be receptive of things, and then probably you'll start to write much better. And I would really wish that they write as you write fearlessly. I would wish that I would not want them not to write like you, because you speak from your heart. Yes. And my final question to a very important person, Dr. Sreystha, you are a psychologist. And from that perspective, I would really request you to give those advice to all those women who are watching you right now. How can we have that balance in life, stay tuned, stay happy all the time? What are those, I would say, if not tips, they are advices from you. Please tell us.
Yeah, I want women to fundamentally understand that do not put a woman in a bracket or a team, an entire man into a bracket or a team. Okay, so there is a difference between patriarchy and feminism. Everybody should be a feminist. Feminism is not the opposite of patriarchy. Patriarchy essentially means that all the power is vested in the hands of man. They can oppress women whichever way they want. Feminism, on the other hand, asks for equal rights and opportunities, be it socioeconomic, political, even education and other rights. Feminism is not about making man a devil and tell them, okay, you dominated us for so long, now we have the power, we are going to dominate you back. No, that's not at all what we want. Please understand that we need men as much as men need us. We need our father, our brother, our son, our husband, our colleagues, our bosses. And let us not ignore the fact that whatever we are today, there has been male support behind that. If our father never sponsored for our education, we wouldn't have completed that. We needed our brother somewhere to, take the bike and carry us back home. So there has been a lot of contribution of men just for a bunch of patriarchy mindset. Let us not label all men as bad. That is one. Second key point is we are different elements altogether. Let's say vegetable and a flower garden. Both are unique and both are special in their own definite ways. So you cannot give a preference of a rose over a mango, because a mango is as important as a rose. One fits your tummy and one is the aesthetics. Two elements are as distinct as air and fire, or maybe air and water. We need both. So I want women to drop the battle to become like a man. No, we do not need to become like a man. We don't need to possess man-like powers. Neither a man need to become like a woman. God has created these two different elements for a reason, because we complement each other. Well, we must understand that there are certain limitations, hormonal, biological, psychological, neurological. There are differences. A man may not understand exactly the way we are. We may not also understand exactly how a man is. We are in different bodies. We are in different universe, but we need each other. So we must stop the fight, and we must celebrate who we are, our uniqueness. As I said, if we are water, we are water. If we have the ability to fly, we should not judge ourselves by our ability to swim. We may not be able to do that. So that is where our individuality, our distinct identity, nature has brought us on the planet to be that. We are into an unnecessary, meaningless, endless struggle, which is just going to tear us apart. I want every woman to drop that battle, look at themselves, look at their power, enjoy it, and do their best, the capacities that God has given to them. I wish everybody all the luck, and the panelists, including you, all the love. It's been phenomenal talking to all of you. Thank you.
What a wonderful advice. I really am so blessed to be having all such great people on board with me on this discussion. Thank you, each of you, for coming in here and sharing your inputs because it's really needed. You're coming with lots of experience and, of course, such positivity that I see in each of the face, such charming faces that I have here on this panel discussion. So, my dear viewers, I would like to say goodbye here with a heavy heart. I would just want this conversation to go on because there's lots that we are learning, but we are limited. We would like to say goodbye here, but I would promise you that I would bring back yet another panel of panelists with lots of other knowledge for we women to know that we can do everything on this earth and we are empowered already. Thank you once again to each of you, Dr. Sreystha, Ms. Mohua, and Professor Dr. Sujata ji. You have been here with us, and it's a pleasure for having all three of you here. Once again, thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye and stay blessed. And stay blessed, my audience. I'm going to be back again. Till then, stay happy and stay blessed always. Goodbye.